Dobry wieczór wszystkim. I hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic today. I'm Mysticle, and today I'll be bringing you the latest in AR and VR news. However, just before we get into this one, let me tell you guys about today's sponsor. And today's one, we're gonna do a little bit of puzzling, as today's sponsor is Puzzling Places, one of the most relaxing, meditative games I've played in VR, and AR for that matter. Puzzling Places just got even better with the brand new Tiny Glade puzzle. It's the first puzzle to feature interactable characters, adorable little ducks and sheep that you can pet. Plus, this puzzle actually lets you experience seasonal transitions, from sunny summer days to magical winter scenes. Each puzzle is a 3D scan of real-world locations, handcrafted with breathtaking detail, from ancient temples to cozy winter towns. It's like traveling the world without actually having to leave your couch. Trust me, you'll find yourself actually leaning into these puzzles to explore the tiniest of details, like hidden stories and immersive soundscapes that evolve as you piece the puzzle together. And did you know that you can actually puzzle with a friend? Whether online or inside the exact same room, Puzzling Places actually lets you team up to build these beautiful dioramas together. It's like a digital games night. And now, of course, with the holidays being here, it's the perfect time for festive puzzles. They'll fill you with the holiday cheer. In case you're not sure that Puzzling Places is for you, they actually offer you a 15-minute free demo before you purchase the title. With hundreds of puzzles, adjustable difficulty levels, and regular updates, Puzzling Places offers endless ways to relax and unwind. It's VR at its most beautiful and calming. So, if you're ready to start your puzzling journey, check out the link down in the description below and try out Puzzling Places right now. With that being said, thank you so much to Puzzling Places for sponsoring this video, and let's get right into it. First news is pretty good news for Quest owners. I mean, we already knew that the Quest 3S was going to be quite a hit during Christmas, or at least we had our speculations. This is exactly what happened last time Meta released a headset at a very good price. Well, that is exactly what happened, as Luna has posted on Twitter, Meta Horizon, the app that we use to control our Quest on our phones, was actually #1 on the App Store during Christmas, which I think is pretty crazy. Out of all the applications out there, the Meta Horizon app actually came out on top, and people were posting everywhere, Merry Questmas. Let me know down below whether you got a Quest 3S for Christmas or any other VR headset for that matter. And if you did, welcome to the club. It does seem like the Quest 3S was the biggest hit here, however I can only imagine others did also get Quest 3Ss, and some probably even got a Quest 2. This is going to be quite an interesting time for virtual reality. Welcome to the community, anyone new that has joined us, and hopefully you enjoy your brand new device. And talking about your brand new devices, you're going to be getting a ton of updates as Meta keeps releasing these. Now, you probably won't get them at the same time as everyone else because Meta's staggered rollouts, but that doesn't change the fact that you will be getting them. And a brand new update has arrived to the MetaQuest browser, which I actually use quite a bit in augmented reality. These devices are getting better and better to be the productivity powerhouses that Meta wants them to be. And, as Luna says on Twitter, they've also updated the store page for the browser for the first time in like 3 years. But talking about the browser, Meta Horizon OS browser 36.2 now gives you the ability to import your passwords via a CSV file. So, in case you guys use any password managers, well, you should now be able to import your passwords from those into the MetaQuest browser, or export your passwords from something like Chrome and import them into the Quest browser. So, you don't have to type in your randomly generated passwords into every single page you visit. So that's pretty cool. Not necessarily the biggest update, but definitely one that's going to make our lives quite a bit easier. Recently, we've also spoken about Quest hand tracking updates, and Luna has posted a video from Castafers TM, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, on Reddit, where they showcase the brand new hand tracking behavior and raycast visuals on Horizon OS v72. A lot of you guys have been telling me in the comments that you haven't yet seen this update, so hopefully you're starting to see it now. Meta has stabilized the pointer, meaning that now when you point at things, well, it won't necessarily correlate to your shaking fingers, or at least my shaking fingers when I don't have caffeine in my system. And to quote, "We've made hand tracking more stable and responsive when navigating the universal menu and in apps, making it easier to interact with your hands in mixed reality quality. The cursor is now stabilized as you pinch your fingers together, so making selections should be more accurate. We also improved the responsiveness and stability for drag and drop interactions, like dragging a browser tab into a new window. The cursor should also perform more predictably and naturally when your hands are close to your body. Finally, a new cursor visuals should help locating and targeting elements with your hands. So in case you guys use hand tracking inside your Quest, well, you should have a lot more fun using it now. Or at least, I hope so, since this is one that I haven't yet received, even though I'm on V72. Now, onto a brand new device that is supposedly getting released by Pimax. This looks like a pretty crazy one. Definitely took some inspirations from the Vision Pro if it's actually going to look like the device that we see here. However, Pimax has announced the Dream Air, a compact VR headset with one totally unique feature. The Pimax Dream Air represents a new area of focus for the company. While most of its headsets up to this point have been necessarily bulky to achieve their signature super large field of view, the Dream Air aims to make a headset that's compact, but still feature rich. One of those features, a head strap that automatically tightens. That sounds pretty futuristic. I mean, have you guys seen those shoes that automatically tightened? I think they were made for like Back to the Future. They were like a limited event or something like that. Those are pretty cool. And this, I kind of see this as the same thing in my head. This would be an industry first, priced at $1.9 thousand, expensive, but not the most expensive we've seen, and purportedly shipping in May of 2025. Pimax's Dream Air headset aims to take an emergent segment of compact high-end PCVR headsets like the Big Screen Beyond and the Shiftall Mega Nex Superlight. But it wouldn't be Pimax if they didn't make additional ambitious promises, which risk pulling the company's attention away from delivering its products on time as promised. For the Dream Air, that additional promise is an optional compute puck. Oh, we literally just talked about those in the previous video, which the headset can plug into to become a standalone VR headset. The company is calling the puck Cobb, and says it will include a Snapdragon XR2 chipset and battery. Oh, and don't forget the optional SteamVR tracking faceplate. To be fair, all of those actually seem pretty doable. I mean, they can sell the headset on its own and then sell the compute puck as an additional accessory. And a compute puck isn't necessarily something super difficult or out of place. I think that this might actually be something that they will be able to deliver on. I mean, having a compute puck, especially wired, connect to a headset and having it essentially become a standalone device, again, isn't something crazy, isn't something we haven't heard before. And it would be certainly cool to see. A wireless one is a little bit of a different story. We spoke about those. However, if it was actually wired, that would be pretty cool. It has a weight of 200 grams, a resolution of 13 megapixels, 3840 by 3552, micro OLED per eye displays, 90 hertz on those with HDR. 90 hertz might not suit everyone, but HDR is nice. 102 degrees field of view, inside-out tracking, motion controllers and hand tracking, onboard audio, optional prescription lenses, eye tracking, automatic IPD, and automatic strap tightening. Interesting to see another little something coming from Pimax. They always, when they release something pretty crazy. It's going to be nice to see whether they can deliver on this one. And finally, Survios has responded to the backlash they are getting. And I'm sorry, as I didn't make this super clear in the previous video, Alien Rogue Incursion was actually supposed to be a finished product. Nobody was told that there was going to be a part 2. That part 1 designation was a last-minute call. And when people found out about it, they weren't exactly very happy. We didn't know we were getting a part 1 when Survios released their long-awaited horror shooter Alien Rogue Incursion 2024 last week. But now we know why. No, you're not getting half of the game when you buy it, but rather a promise that there is more yet to come. Some people don't necessarily see it as that. At launch last week on PCVR and PSVR 2, many were confused what the newly added Part 1 labeling could mean. Are we actually getting a full game here? Or is it being sliced into episodes? In Road to VR's full review, they noted the 8-hour experience is very much a full game, which they gave a solid 7 out of 10 for its immersive environments and pulse-raising encounters with raptor-like packs of xenomorphs, which were dampened somewhat by enemy repetition and its punishing save system. Now Survios has responded in a post on X, stating it didn't mean to cause confusion with the Part 1 label, and that it shouldn't be misconstrued as the studio artificially doling out pieces of the game. While the standalone adventure does end on a cliffhanger, it's only Part 1 of a 2-part story. To boot, Part 2 is already in development. Survios confirmed this last week, which is said to include deadlier enemies and more difficult challenges. Meanwhile, we're waiting to see just how the Quest release fares when it arrives on the Quest 3 and Quest 3S on February 13th, 2025. As Road to VR noted in their review, the game features dynamically loading levels, detailed textures, and a ton of physics-based interactions, which is probably part of the reason the studio delayed the Quest release in the first place. So there you guys go. Let me know what you actually think about this, because I know there's going to be people that are still going to say they gave us a part of a game when they promised a full game. Meanwhile, others are going to say, no, this is actually just part of a bigger story, and we're still getting a very nice title here. So would love to hear your opinion since I haven't played this one yet. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day or night, wherever you are. And if you like this one, please leave a like. If dislikes it, I guess this one works too, but let me know why down below. If you're not yet part of the community, check out the Discord and the Reddit down below where I want to see you posting your spice memes. And thank you so much to all the Patreons supporting this channel. You guys are amazing. Seriously, much love. Thank you so much for all your support. You are what makes this possible. And thank you to anyone else who has bought me a coffee or donated a super thanks in the comment section. Seriously, much love. Thank you guys so much. And if you want to be notified of content coming up on the channel, make sure to smack that subscribe button with your ding my bell. And again, next video. Peace.
Choinka ma k***a na dachu, ale zajebiście. Ale zajebiście.